wrote this article for The Guardian talking about why I don't vote, and I went through it, and everyone flipped out in the comments section, it being The Guardian, and I wasn't saying you shouldn't vote. I was just saying these are the reasons why I personally vote, and I said, look, if you want to make a difference on election day, it takes as much time to talk to a lonely old person, to take a kid out who's an orphan, and mentor them, take a dog that's in a kennel and walk it around. There are so many profoundly concrete things you could do that can have an enormous impact to make the world a better place than flicking a switch, especially in like a blue state or something like that. And people feel this need that they think they're in the White House.
Well, even just the need to angrily comment on a Guardian article, right, is sort of a similar example of that sort of impotence and then misplaced anger. I think that the Stoics would have frowned very heavily on this sort of outrage culture that we live in today. There's this great line from Epictetus. He says, like, when you are offended, you are complicit in the outrage. And so, when I read your article, let's say I totally disagree with you. Sure. I think voting is some sacred obligation of a democratic citizen. Okay, that's true. I disagree with your opinion. What impact is my angry comment at the bottom of this article happening? Meanwhile, if I actually did believe that voting was important, I could have volunteered to man a voting booth. Yeah. I could have helped register vote. There's so many number of things so again, this distinction between where I have impact and where I'm just jerking myself off, or where I am sort of indulging in my passions or my emotions is sort of the essential, I think, tenet of Stoicism. And so it can sometimes feel like resignation, like there's a lot of acceptance in Stoicism. It's like, okay, Michael believes this stupid thing. I accept that, right? Yeah. But people lose sight of the other part. It's resignation over here, so I can choose my battle over there.
Yeah, at the end,
that's the element of it.
And at the end of the day, worst case scenario, there's an idiot in Brooklyn who has stupid ideas. You knew that yesterday. Yes. And it's going to be the case tomorrow. It has absolutely no impact. And I think there's also this kind of, and again, this is all ringing very true, this kind of control freakism. The idea is that there can't even be one person anywhere on earth with the wrong ideas, and God forbid some people would listen to him. I've got to be the one to interject and teach the masses the truth. And it's like no one is able to communicate with everyone on earth. Not even the president, not even Angela Merkel, head of the UN. Everyone is going to have a finite audience. And this idea that you are going to be the great prophet of all time and are going to run interference against the wrong speakers is also ego in the worst sense.
I would totally agree with that. And look, I think one of the passages that hit me so deeply about Marcus Aurelius when I was 19 or 20 years old, he's like, okay, so you've met some, I think he's talking about a shameless person, but basically, okay, you've met some asshole, right? And you're upset about that. He says to himself, he goes, okay, is there a world, is a world without shameless people possible? Is there a world without assholes possible?
Right.
No. Okay, so that means a certain percentage of the world is going to be populated by those people.